Welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Madisonville Marine. The folks at Highway 411 North in Madisonville are open, but they ask that you call ahead and make an appointment rather than just dropping in. Social distancing, folks. Everybody's taking it seriously. They have extended their boat show prices, and that means great rebates and deals through the end of April. Now, I can't think of a better way to social distance for everybody than on my own boat out on the lake. That's high-level social distancing right there. Madisonville Marine, check them out, madmarine.com, or get down there after you call and set up an appointment. All right, before we get to our eligibility segment here, I want to make something clear. Ryan pointed out, I mentioned earlier in that segment, we're talking about recruiting's been shut down. That's visits. I said on-campus, off-campus visits. What is still available and how Tennessee is going after these recruits, electronically, phone, mail, the old-fashioned way, carrier pigeon, those kinds of things are legal at the moment, and we guess the NCAA is probably going to be pretty lenient about any way you find to talk to kids right now outside of those visits.
Yeah, and creativity in recruiting is a big
right
behind-the-scenes conversation for sure.
Okay, we expected that the NCAA would go ahead and take the PR bonus of saying you spring sports kids can have an extra year of eligibility. You were very much in favor of it. I thought it was going to cause problems. I still do. They went ahead and said no to the winter sports athletes, also kind of expected. But two things I thought stood out in terms of this eligibility thing. First is they are going to loosen the roster caps, but it's on the school, and you don't have to bring a kid back, which if you're juggling numbers, and in baseball it's very difficult with the draft and everything else. If you're juggling numbers, that's going to be tough, but that really is. You talk about good PR for the NCAA. That's a bad look for a school to say, we know you have an extra year, but get out. We don't want you back. That's tough.
It could potentially be, and there is still a lot of unknown because right now the schools don't know what kind of financial situation they're going to be in. The conversation we're having about football and its status this fall is going to greatly affect what these schools can do.
And later in the show, I'm going to show you what percentage football is of Tennessee's revenue, and that puts all of this in plain view.
Yeah, so what the schools can do, literally can do, is pending in all this. I do think it will probably create an extra advantage for the haves versus the have-nots, and those advantages do already exist in a lot of ways. I think it also will be advantageous to the players who have a chance to come back who are really good. If you are somebody that the school really covets to be on the team, then you're going to have an opportunity financially because that's a part of this conversation. What do they offer financially as opposed to just, hey, we have a spot for you, but we don't necessarily have scholarship dollars available.
The other thing that's interesting out of this that I thought stood out was the transfer portion of it.
Yeah, if you transfer, then you no longer have the exception to your name. You're going to have to count within the numbers. So that, again, comes back to how good you are. Now, maybe you transfer to a lower level. If you're at a SEC, ACC, Big Ten school, whatever the case might be, if you transfer to a lower level, you might still be able to find a scholarship that could then squeeze somebody else out. That also does already happen in some ways. I think it might surprise people to find out, even in non-revenue sports, how often a player might be close to the end and they say, you know what, it might be time for you to move on. That does already occur. It might just occur a little bit more in the 2021 year.
Yeah, I think overall the idea of it is good. I think the NCAA was wise to get a PR bounce when they had a chance because they never do. But I think the implementation of this is going to be pretty bumpy.
It'll present challenges, and there will probably be some disappointing stories that come out of it. What would have been really disappointing to me, though, is if they had announced this past week, it's time for all of you who were seniors to move on. That would have been no good.
Better that only a few get screwed instead of everybody.
That's right. That's right.
Very good. Junk Be Gone. Let me tell you about these folks because I'm going to be having them to my house either this week or the next. They're still open, and I'll be taking advantage of their driveway dumpster. They just bring it, drop it at your house. You don't touch them, don't do anything. It's just right there. You clean up your house, and then they come pick up the dumpster. Junk Be Gone, I use them every year, and you can too. They are still open for business. All right, coming up next, it's our good news segment. We're going to be joined by VFL Mike Stoll, who is in the medical business, ventilators, one of the things he sells. And we'll talk about the region he's covering, but also some good news, some positive news. And we know that your world is filled with negative stuff right now. If you watch TV a long time during the days, you go crazy. So we try and give you one segment every week of a positive story or something silly to get your mind off of it. You want to stick around for VFL Mike Stoll. It's good stuff. Come on back.